there, this is Fifth Avenue Studios with Rena Innocenti.
And Nick Izumi.
The host, of course.
And we're just here folding laundry, working on crochet, and tomorrow we're going out to see The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
There are two of them.
That's crazy. Well, and I figured with this momentous occasion of a second Amazing Spider-Man movie, maybe we could start a new video series. Well, this is Rena's idea, that we're tentatively calling Before and After. And we're going to record right now what we are thinking before we go to see Spider-Man. And then after we watch the movie, we're going to record what we actually thought of The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And we want to do this with a bunch of upcoming new movies, so...
Like Godzilla!
Yeah, like Godzilla.
Godzilla is going to be the fun one.
That's not to say Spider-Man isn't going to be fun. Let's start, so a couple years ago, we went to go see the midnight screening of Amazing Spider-Man, the first one. What did you think of that, Rena?
I really liked it. I actually liked it more than the Sam Raimi Spider-Man that came out way back when. I don't actually remember the year.
It was, the only reason I remember it was 2001, and the only reason I remember that...
I was a wee lass.
Well, the early promotional trailers and one of the early promotional posters even...
Had the Twin Towers in it.
Uh-huh. Spider-Man catches these crooks between the Twin Towers with his webbing, and yeah, unfortunately...
That scene got cut completely.
With good reason. I mean, it would have been disrespectful and creepy, and yeah, Spider-Man was a pick-me-up movie. And that movie was definitely a lot of fun. I enjoyed Amazing... I agree with you, I enjoyed Amazing Spider-Man more than Sam Raimi Spider-Man, but I also really like the Ultimate Spidey comic books, and this movie was very similar to Ultimate Spider-Man. I liked that.
That's good. It's always important to have something you like about it.
I really, so the cast, I think we should talk about. I really like Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker.
I think he's kind of adorable.
His American accent is great, by the way, considering that he is not
very
American.
British.
Yeah, he is quite British. He was on Doctor Who.
It's called acting.
Well, he's good at it, and I affirm him. I like him a lot. I really liked Emma Stone.
She's adorable.
She was really good as Gwen Stacy.
Oh my goodness, everyone in this movie is adorable.
It's true.
Harry
Osborn?
Osborn. I was going to call him Harry Ord. That's a completely different character.
Harry Ord is also adorable, but he's not in this movie, sadly.
No. That would make it really weird.
So last movie we just had the Lizard as a bad guy. And speaking of Harry Osborn, this movie looks like it's going to put a lot of villains in it, which I know some people are nervous about because of how Spider-Man 3 turned out.
Hopefully we don't get that again.
Well, where do you want to start with? I guess since we talk about the villains, what do you think about what do you think about too many villains, Raina? Do you think that's a real concern, or do you think they could handle it well?
I'm not entirely sure at the moment. I think that's something where I would have to watch it play out. We've seen too many villains work before.
Captain America just a couple months ago had like a
I know, right?
bad guys in it.
Captain America the Winter Soldier. If you haven't seen it yet, shame on you.
Yeah, super shame. Go see Winter Soldier right now. It's really good. That I can tell you. We've seen that twice now.
And we need to see it a third time in theaters, and then we'll be fulfilled.
Well, this one's got, we've got, the, Harry Osborn Green Goblin looks like he's gonna be in here.
Which is weird.
Yeah, it's weird that they're skipping over Norman, and hopefully, they established in the first movie that Norman was dying, so maybe...
No, they said Mr. Osborn.
I think they said Norman Osborn, I think.
Well, regardless, it's Harry who's dying.
Well, maybe... well, let's see, we'll see how things turn out. I'm curious to see... I really liked Harry and Peter's relationship in the comic, so I'm really kind of sad they're skipping straight to them being adversaries. That's kind of...
Yeah, it's a little strange to just straight up skip to that.
Then we've got Electro is going to be in this one, who I know very little about.
I know nothing about this character.
I know he shoots electricity. That's like it. He's not.
I mean, like, he goes zappy zap, but
He was never one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, so I never really, I knew he zapped people, but that never made me want to look up anything about him, so I'm kind of in the dark on if they don't get him right and he's completely different in the comics. Yeah, I'm completely ignorant to that. I don't know Electro well at all.
So we're sorry.
Really sorry. I remember from when I was a kid, I remember the very end of the Harry-Peter relationship when Harry was the new Goblin.
I bought you that book.
Mm-hmm. Culminating with Spectacular Spider-Man 200. Great comic. Maybe they'll work in parts of that. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of the comic, I suppose... should we talk about the elephant in the room?
Which elephant in the room?
The almost inevitable death of a certain
yeah, sure, why
character.
not? They basically showed it on the ad anyway.
There's no way Gwen is making it out of this movie alive.
No.
That makes me really sad because, like I said before, she's adorable and she's a great actress. And I thought she had real chemistry with Andrew Garfield. Though I've been told they're dating in real life, so go figure, I guess. But still, they were really good on screen together. And I'll be sad to see her go. But
it's necessary.
If they handle Gwen's death well, it'll be... I don't want to say good.
I feel like they showed that scene on TV.
Yeah, I feel like the trailer has basically all but straight up said, dead! So... don't blame us. Blame the trailer, guys.
And it's been more than 10 years.
It's been... Yeah, that happened, in the 70s? Everything gets undone anyway. Who knows? In Ultimate Comics, Gwen was Carnage for a while.
Ah, fun.
That was weird. For character-wise, I'm hoping this will be a growth movie for Spider-Man, though, and I disagree with people who dismiss the first Amazing Spider-Man. I feel like Peter grew a lot in that movie, from a short-sighted, hot-headed young vigilante to a real hero at the end. I'm excited that the trailer shows Spider-Man saving people. Just, saving random-ass people. That's
important. We didn't get that in Superman, which everyone keeps whining about. But, it's really important that we're seeing Spider-Man do that.
Well, that's what heroes do. They save people. That should be
their
prerogative.
We saw Cap saving people in Cap 2. Which isn't a spoiler because he's a superhero.
And in Avengers, for that matter, there was that great scene in Grand Central Station when he's fighting the Chitauri and he has to clear those people out of the room. That was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited because, there was that one scene on the bridge where Peter saves a whole lot of people in the first movie, but I like the idea of Spider-Man
going out of his way.
Going out of his way during a fight to save people's lives. That's cool.
That's what heroism is to me. For a superhero, anyway. Heroism in modern life is actual life is totally different.
With great power comes great responsibility, even if they haven't actually said that yet in these movies.
Which I'm fine with.
I don't know if I'm fine with it yet, honestly, because it's the catchphrase, you know what I mean?
It is the catchphrase, but I don't think it's wholly necessary.
Do you feel that they still kind of communicated that point without necessarily needing the catchphrase in the first movie?
I do, actually. And I would also like to point out that they don't need to bludgeon you over the head with a concept in order for it to be understood.
That's true.
I totally stole that one from Bob from The Big Picture. I'm sorry. But I agree with that statement.
No, I agree. I'm sad that we won't have more Martin Sheen in this one.
We might have flashbacks.
Maybe we'll get flashbacks to him as Uncle Ben. That'd be great, because I love Martin Sheen. He was awesome. So, we're going into this movie pretty positive. I'm pretty jazzed for tomorrow night, and I can't wait. I'm hoping that we can come back to you guys in the other half of what for you is going to be this video, and have good things to say about The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So, what will only be a few seconds for you guys to find out if we're amazed.
Also, like, weird expectations of things that are probably never going to happen in this movie.
Oh, I'm sorry.
List some secret characters who you want there to be in this movie.
Ooh, you want to my
yeah, your secret characters.
Ooh.
Don't list mine. You already know what mine are.
I kind of, it looks like they want to set up for the Sinister Six. So I'm kind of hoping, like, some of the Spidey villains who we haven't seen in movies yet, like, maybe the Scorpion or Kraven the Hunter, like, setting up for them would be really cool.
Yeah.
How about you?
I kind of want to see Black Cat. I know nothing about this character other than she wears skin tight and let's say fake fur a la mode. But I think her concept is really interesting, and I would like to see them move forward with a female villain / antagonist.
I've got a couple of, I don't have any of the main universe books, but I can lend you some of my Ultimate stuff if you want to see some of Black Cat in there. She's pretty great.
I'm not too keen on reading his comic books, I'm sorry.
That's alright.
I don't like reading Spider-Man.
Well, if nothing else, we could maybe find some of the cartoons. Handled her pretty decently, I think.
See, because I remember the cartoons from when I was a kid.
Yeah, she was in the animated series.
Whichever one I watched, I don't remember.
Well,
Yay, 90s.
I can't wait to tell you guys what we thought about The Amazing Spider-Man 2, so, after the jump.
Whether it's good or not, you'll hear us again.
Yep, so talk to you guys soon.
You're funny. Okay, we just got out of Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, that was The Amazing Spider-Man. Are you amazed?
I actually am, because Electro was actually pretty sweet. I like the cross between Static Shock and Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, if this was definitely not, as I said yesterday, I know nothing about Electro, but I'm fairly certain he is not the character who was in the movie we just saw.
I'm also pretty certain, and part of me is like, does getting bitten by bleep actually, like, do that to a person?
Yeah,
sorry, that would be a spoiler.
So anyway, this was not a perfect movie. This movie had a lot of flaws, but
Felicia Hardy was in it.
Yeah, I guess you called that.
That's not exactly a spoiler.
That's not really, no, but she was in it. I'll spoil this. No Black Cat costume yet.
From what I could tell, though, she didn't really have the figure for it yet. Emphasis on the yet. Because you know what big pictures do to people. They either get ripped or big boobs, so.
I'm about to say costumes.
Mystique.
But I will say, of all the other reviews that I've read so far, this is... I feel like I must
They sold it short.
I was about to say, I feel like I've seen a different movie than everyone else, because I liked this movie. But then I liked the first Amazing Spider-Man, so maybe I'm just have terrible taste when it comes to Spider-Man.
Hold the phone, I'm
shivering. Yes, good job revealing to the audience what we're recording this on. So...
Yes, I'm recording it on my smart phone of dumb. Whatever. We're walking, and we're walking home.
So, but yeah, there were things that there were things that worked really well. There were things that didn't work. Like I said, specifically there was a really weird
pop music.
Yeah, they
think car commercial music.
They stuck Gone, Gone, Gone in the middle for a montage that just felt really out of place.
It was absolutely obnoxious that they put that song in there.
It was really out of place, and it dated the movie, and
it was like a Smallville musical entrance.
Yeah, I hate when movies that like this, that could easily not be set in one specific time period, do things that date it really heavily. I did not like that at all.
Putting the birth year and death year on a certain character?
I guess that's not so... I don't know. It felt really out of place. Like, even, I guess,
what year was that song popular? That year?
No, well, I mean, okay, let me take that back. It's not so much that... I mean, it's fine to have the year set and have it take place in that year, and to show how old the character is. I'm fine with that. My problem is when it's nothing else in the soundtrack matches this random pop song that this movie isn't about life in 2014. It's just that this random pop song comes in the middle. I did not like that. The other thing is that we've all seen the Green Goblin in the trailer. His
part is very small.
Well, I was going to say I thought his part was decently sized. It's more how he becomes the Green Goblin makes no sense.
It made sense to me.
Everything leading up to the actual suitification
made sense to me.
Everything leading up to it made sense to me. Then when he actually started transforming and getting the suit on, it just delved into Stupidville for me.
It made sense to me.
Okay, well, congratulations to you, because I thought that...
I think in comic book, when I go to comic book movies...
I always think in comic book, but that scene made no sense, and I'm standing by that.
It makes sense using comic book logic, and that Extremis works in humans.
Okay, whatever. But things that was there anything that you thought didn't work too well?
The Russian dude.
Yeah.
I think he was a little too over the top and comic booky.
Yeah, Paul Giamatti, just delivered what might be the worst performance of his career.
I am a bad guy. Oh, ho, ho.
Yeah,
Except switch the French out with Russian, and then you don't have Batroc the Leaper.
Yeah, except Batroc in the Captain America movie was awesome, and this was not. Don't bring Batroc in, because then we'll think about good Batroc, and this was definitely not.
It was like bad Batroc.
I don't know what that was.
Rhino basically belonged in Adam West Batman.
Rhino should not. For anyone who's watched the trailers, you should not be concerned about the Rhino and his part in the movie, because it really doesn't matter. I'm not gonna lie to you, it really does not matter at all.
It's like Sandman's part in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, except, well, no, it's not like Sandman's part in Spider-Man 3, though, because the movie doesn't take huge scads of time on it. Rhino isn't the B plot or the C plot. It's not even the D plot. It's not the plot. It's not like the Sandman in Spider-Man 3, they kept wasting time on his plot. Rhino's not even in this. I will say, if we're gonna... It's not fair to compare anything to Spider-Man 3, but I wasn't bored out of my skull / ashamed to be watching it like I was in Spider-Man 3.
Are you also impressed that they resolved both the C plot and the D plot?
What are we referring?
The one with the thing in the sky and the one with the little thing.
Oh yeah, that was kind of fun.
They resolved both of those. Both of them were satisfying.
No, yeah.
One of them had to do with Rhino.
During the climax, things got got really busy.
I was fine with that, though.
No, I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying it got really busy, and if you're actually paying attention to how many minutes they say until the planes crash into each other, you're gonna... It's best to not think about that, because it's totally not right? That's just fun. Let's move on to good things, though. Things we actually liked in this movie, because we started on bad things. Are there good things? There are lots of good things. I think.
Oh yeah. They got Spider-Man's character down to a T. They got his personality down much better than they did in Amazing Spider-Man 1.
I agree. I think I still think Peter himself doesn't usually. I think the biggest issue that I have with this movie series is that there really is no difference between Peter in the suit and Peter not wearing the suit. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I'll take this Spider-Man over the guy from the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon any day, but...
What I think it is the anonymity of the mask.
Okay, yeah.
But it's a comforting thing to him.
I can see that.
Other good things.
Can we talk about how awesome Emma Stone was in this movie again? Like, she was one of the highlights of the first movie, but she was really good in this one. I thought she added a lot of heart to the movie. I liked her. What, you didn't like Emma Stone?
No.
You didn't like her performance in this one?
No.
You liked her in the first one.
I know. That's why I was disappointed.
Okay, I'm a little surprised. Okay, well... I liked her. I thought she was really quite charming.
Her final act was good. Note the choice of words.
I saw you crying. I saw you.
Yeah.
You did that.
But up until then, a lot of it was cheesy, and I think part of it was how she was written.
Yeah, the writing was not...
And it wasn't, like, the best writing
this was
for
not,
her.
This was not good writing for pretty much anybody.
It was good writing for Peter.
It was good writing for Spider-Man.
Yeah. Like, not even good writing for Peter. It was good writing for Spider-Man.
Okay, there was one other scene. I'm gonna be honest. So they're Harry Osborn. I actually liked him.
He looks like the Green Goblin without the makeup on. He just needs the chin and the nose to his face.
I thought he had a really good performance as the Green Goblin. I liked the Goblin suit they did for this way more than the quote-unquote dumb Power Rangers mask version from the 2001 movie.
Yeah,
I think just letting him have a deformed face was a much better idea.
Let's just hope that people who are who are listening to this have actually watched the movie, because you're spoiling one hell of a lot of things.
I'm again, most of what I'm not. If it's in the trailer, I don't feel bad. That's how I'm thinking it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, all the things that we said in our pre-movie guessing, we got about 80% of it right.
We got a lot right, yeah. I actually wasn't sure if Black Cat would actually show up, but it was...
It was me! I guessed it right, man!
Okay.
I don't know anything about her other than her white hair and fuzzy and fluffy and leather.
She's Spider-Man Catwoman. That's literally what her... She's pretty much the same as Catwoman. But she's the version for Spider-Man. That's really... Okay, there is one scene I want to talk about, though, specifically. Is
it the one with Stan Lee?
No.
But you loved that.
I loved the Stan cameo. Very fantastic. Worth it for the movie. There's one scene that I liked the content of it, but the performance of it was killing me. And that was the Harry and Peter are catching up and they're hanging out. And, again, the script wasn't great, but it didn't help that both Harry and I don't know who the actor who played Harry, but yeah, the actor playing Harry and Andrew Garfield, it was clearly two people who aren't from New York trying to
be from New York,
trying to do New York accents at each other, and it was just this sad Andrew Garfield and Green Goblin kid doing their best Newsies impression at each other. That's really what it sounded like.
Well, were you expecting them to break out in song?
I was half expecting it because of just how it was really bad. I'm sorry. It was really bad. Okay, We mentioned Electro a little bit. What did you think of Jamie Foxx's Electro, aside from Dr. Manhattan, like his performance on it?
You know, I thought they did a fantastic job. I know nothing about that character. Like I said in the preview thing, I don't read Spider-Man's comic books. My knowledge of Spider-Man comes from the 90s.
And I've never been a big... I think the only thing I can even think of that I've read with Electro in it within memory, I'm sure I read some stuff when I was a kid. The only thing within memory, though, was in Ultimate Spider-Man, the Death of Spider-Man story arc when Aunt May shoots him. That was kind of awesome.
Well, yeah.
And I even forgot that I read that until just now, so go figure.
I think he was amazing. And they set up the main character trait at the beginning of the movie.
He is very mentally not well.
He's a very unstable person to begin with.
And I thought they set that up really well, and that Jamie Foxx played it very
played
well.
it very straight.
He played it straight, which was kind of needed, because this was a campy movie. I'll admit this was a campy movie, but it wasn't a bad campy movie.
Yeah.
If that
just makes sense.
There are such things as not bad campy movies, internet. Just get over it.
And I like that the people with the severe psychosis were treated like human beings.
Anyway, no, the scene I really, really liked. I need to stop saying the scene I liked, because there were a lot of scenes I liked. But the thing I liked when they set up Electro was they did this weird, like, dubstep, they did, like, this schizophrenia dubstep. And I really don't know what it's going to be like watching this on home video, because I don't have a good sound system. They had this great surround sound effect where it was, like...
Whispers.
Yeah, the whispers of, like, what he is hearing and experiencing as he's being attacked, and it was really cool.
And it's just, wow.
I thought the special effects looked great, honestly.
They did. I honestly feel like they sunk the majority of their budget into Electro.
Yeah.
And the Green Goblin.
It's the only...
And an upgrade on the suit.
The only thing that I didn't really dig in Electro was I wish that they didn't go in with him thinking we need to copy Dr. Manhattan as much as possible from the Watchmen movie, because that's kind of what they did with his look in a lot of scenes. I didn't dig that as much. But he was...
I'm actually kind of fine with it, because I feel like if Dr. Manhattan would have been evil and minus certain powers, he would have been a lot like that.
Maybe,
and I feel like they did a better job with the Dr. Manhattan special effects.
The visual cues to another godlike character in a superhero movie. I guess that I can see it like that. Yeah.
And
I like the new Spider-Man costume.
Oh yeah.
It looked a lot more like the comic book Spider-Man.
It was a lot cuter.
With the big eyes.
With the big eyes.
The big old Spider-Man eyes.
Show me those big anime eyes. I'm Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Incidentally, Spider-Man saving random-ass people was a pretty major part of the plot. I'm really happy about that.
He saved more people than Superman did.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. If you save a single person, you save more people than Man of Steel.
Exactly.
Superman did. That's nothing to be proud of. So if you're not keen on spoilers, and if you just want to know if it's good or bad, Izumi and Rena are going to side on the...
It's good.
I'm going to say good, yeah. I really liked it. It wasn't without its problems, and yes, I still do believe that the franchise was rebooted way too early, but it was a good movie.
I think it was for the better.
It's a good movie, I'm not going to complain.
It's been 13 years since the first movie came out.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't that... Oh god, it kind of was that long since the third one came out.
First.
No, but I was going to say, it hasn't been that long since the third one came out.
And
But
there are enough differences that I don't think people can physically get them mixed up. And I like new Spider-Man more. I'm less creeped out by him. Mostly because while he is socially awkward, he's not actually socially awkward.
And frankly, at the end of the day, if you still like the Tobey Maguire movies, no one's going to take them away from you. I still have my DVD copies of Spider-Man 1 and 2, so, you know.
And I'm never going to watch them again, I'm sorry, hon. I just don't
That's fine.
like them as much.
I look forward to getting a copy of this Spider-Man movie. I liked it a lot. Okay, let's, so yeah, if you don't want spoilers, enough said, I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah, you can pretty much stop listening. So have a great night, I guess.
If you want spoilers,
Continue on, because we're going to, and in 3 seconds we're going to start talking about them. 3, 2, 1, go!
okay, so spoilers, full on spoiling the movie. Yeah, hey, guess what, I would normally say called it, but since literally everyone and their cousin called it, not a real shock that Gwen died.
That was where her acting was actually the best, and it was good use of slow-mo.
Yeah, dare I say, despite the fact that I saw it coming and everyone else in the audience saw it coming, I did tear up. I thought that it really worked.
I love that we're doing this movie in reverse. We're spoiling it in reverse, I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, we don't just have to spoil everything. We can just talk about things that...
Oh, God. Who gets bitten by eels and gets magical powers?
That was the dumbest part about that scene was that in the very next scene they say that they got rid of all their like animal hybrid equipment, so it was like, they got rid of their
hybridization equipment, they just didn't get rid of their electrical eels that are powering the city.
I'm not even gonna try.
I feel like Oliver Queen would come in and be like, you have failed the city, except he's not in Marvel.
I don't even want to try to think about that nonsense.
How Electro gets his powers is dumb.
Yeah, how...
You know it's coming.
Generally, how the villain... It wasn't... Yeah, like, his actual getting of the powers was really dumb, but once he has them, it's really good. Mm-hmm. Him before getting the powers is awesome. Him with the powers, even more awesome.
Is, like, mind-bogglingly awesome.
I can see why they've made such a big deal out of merchandising him, because, yeah.
I don't think the toys of him make sense, given the fact that he should be made out of, like, clear plastic.
Well, I didn't say that the toys were good. I just understand why every poster and every...
I'm just saying.
Even, apparently, how's this for...
They should put opalescent paint on him, too.
The weirdest piece of merchandise for this movie was they've already announced the special edition Blu-ray box, and it's literally a bust of Electro.
Well, then.
I don't know... Like, I loved him as a villain, but I would not want that.
I think it would be kind of creepy, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. He was suitably creepy. That was good. The Sinister Six setup. We had a...
full-on setup.
Like, they're not even... Like, I guess...
Oh my god. Harry Osborn being like, I'm gonna actually kind of spoil my originating accent, and I'm gonna, like, giggle at you and tell you Sinister Six is totally a thing.
I actually kind of liked the goblin cackling.
His laugh was great.
Yeah, that was really cool. Okay, fans of Norman Osborn, be prepared to be really disappointed.
I'm sorry, Chikatamaru.
Yeah, Norman is in one scene.
He's in he's in a couple scenes.
Okay, oh yeah, you get the flash.
But he is all goblined out.
Yeah, speaking of dumb...
And he basically gives his son the middle finger and says, ha ha ha!
No, but really, if you were hoping for I was I'm not gonna lie, my thought process with this movie was what I was almost expecting was that they were going to have Harry, they were going to do like it in reverse order and have Harry show up as the Goblin first, in like the mech suit, and it would be an homage to regular Green Goblin, and that they would have Norman get like some sort of serum that would Hulk him up, so he would be like Ultimate Green Goblin, and that would be the lead into the next movie. But no, Norman's in one scene and he dies immediately. Also, apparently Green Goblinitis is a thing.
They gave it some weird name, so we're gonna run with that.
Yeah,
I don't remember what the name is.
Well, they gave it some dumb...
scientific sounding
None
name.
of the science in this movie, it makes any sense. Don't think about it.
In comic book verse, it does make sense.
On that note, on another positive thing, I loved that there was that montage of Peter experimenting with stuff for the costume.
Oh God, fire!
Well, in the
Shooting star.
Oh, I missed it. In the comics, though, especially in the Steve Ditko era, in the classic comics, like, that was one of Peter's go-to solutions, was to go to the science lab and try to figure out ways to outsmart his opponent.
I love that he woke up in the rafters.
That was funny.
That he woke up lodged in a small area in the rafters. He totally spidered that shit.
How did you feel? I really, some of the other, this is so all over the place.
I loved the dubstep.
Yeah, the dubstep music.
I hate dubstep. I loved the dubstep.
In this movie, it was funny also that they even had Spider-Man reference it.
I hate that song!
That was funny. Spider-Man's ringtone is the 60s Spider-Man theme song. That was really funny.
Maybe he had some fortune teller in the alleyway tell him the song.
That does open the question of why does Spider-Man have the Spider-Man theme song?
Maybe 70s Spider-Man exists in that universe.
You mean 60s Spider-Man?
60s Spider-Man exists in that universe. Maybe. Because remember, he has Halloween costumes. They made that canon in the universe.
Yeah, but they've been doing that since either Spider-Man 2 or 3, and now, like, every superhero movie acknowledges that the Halloween costumes exist.
This Halloween costume actually looks pretty good. All things considered.
That's true, the little kid in the Halloween costume did look pretty
spiffy.
There's a little kid. They keep cutting back to him.
That was like D-plot.
I liked that.
He was adorable.
I liked that, you got...
Science fair.
A lot like in the first movie, you had the little... They would keep cutting back to random people who Spider-Man saved, and, like, what they did afterward. I appreciated that. Again...
That's a huge plot point in this movie.
It was in the last movie, except people apparently didn't like that part when he saves the construction worker, and then later
the construction worker saves him.
Yeah, and then later in the movie, the construction worker sets all that stuff up. Yeah, I don't know why people didn't like that. I really...
The pay it forward thing?
There's a lot of things that both this and its predecessor have been criticized for that I don't understand or buy or think is a legitimate complaint.
And a lot of it is the pay it forward thing, also known as the being a hero thing. I'm really tired, actually.
It's like, yeah, we went to a late showing because we don't like going to crowded theater, except for midnight releases. Midnight releases I'm fine with crowded theaters, but after midnight, like after the movie has already premiered, I don't want to see a movie in a super crowded theater. It's weird.
Oh no, never. I did it once, and that was for the Twilight premiere, where I was like the lone heckler.
Why did you even go to that? I don't...
Because it was free.
That's weird.
I went because I didn't have to pay for it.
That's good.
And I was joking about the armadillo the entire movie.
Don't let Twilight have money. I'm glad that's gone now. Overall, I did really, really like this movie. It's by no means... I mean, it's not Captain America 2.
No, it's not. It has its flaws. And some resolutions are as simple as, look in the dead guy's hand, oh my god, there's a key there.
Yeah, there were some... There was some Deus Ex Machina big time. Of like, oh, look, there's that random prop that you need for precisely this right there. Weird.
It should have been a key ring. Just saying. She should have had to shuffle through like 50 keys. Yes?
Yeah. Yeah. There were also a couple plot points that just kind of... It was weird how they just kind of disappeared. Like, the guys at Oscorp, like, trying to hunt down Gwen when she was looked up the stuff on Electro. And then,
I think it's because he Buster Keaton'd their butts so bad that they were just, like, not able to do anything at that point.
I guess it's weird that after she escapes, they're not even like, no, we're not gonna go after her. That's just the end. The other thing that I guess was a little bit weird for me was that they kept insisting that Harry and Peter were best friends, and I kind of wish the first movie would have had like some scenes of
like,
Peter being like
childhood friends.
Like it's like, yeah, my only real friend was Harry Osborn. He was my only buddy. And I mean, it makes sense in the context of the movie why they would be friends, but it was still really weird. Did I mention I actually liked this Harry? I don't know why I did, but I thought he was
maybe
pretty
because
good.
he didn't look like he was 30.
It does help that these Amazing Spider-Man movies...
That these 25-year-olds actually look like they're 18.
Yeah.
Also, kids don't do underage drinking, which Harry seems to fully support.
Well, he's the bad guy. Oh, one other... I have to stop talking about I keep talking about annoying things. People aren't going to think I actually like this movie. The product placement was so bad.
I didn't notice it.
See, I did, because the first logo that comes up when the movie starts is Sony, who are the company who owned the rights to the Spider-Man movies. And then you see Dad... Richard Parker typing on the computer, and the Sony logo is like huge in the big screen. The Sony logo is just huge. It's like, guys, you already showed your logo. You don't need to keep
Okay, so my
it.
biggest issue is that he was 10 when his parents left. Not even 10. He was like 6, 7.
Yeah, he was 6. I think they said 6 even.
His Sony Vaio
It's like a new Sony file.
wouldn't have come out for another 2 years, I think.
Yeah, that was really silly. The progression of time in the movie was kind of unclear. Like, it just kind of kept skipping.
I know almost a year passed at one point.
Yeah, well, during the montage at the end, it's pretty clear how time is passing, but so they have the scene...
So graduation happens.
Graduation happens, and then, the next couple scenes, they're all wearing, coats, and it's but there's no snow on the ground, and in New York...
But it might be, autumn.
Yeah, it might be in autumn or something, but why would they be... graduation is in summer, and
they kind of implied a montage with his saving people.
That's true. But then Gwen's all it's...
Why are you following me, dude?
Well, I was going to say, she says it's allergy season, which to me implies that it's early spring then.
Oh, no, allergy season happens twice a year.
Okay,
Hay fever happens at the beginning of summer and at the end of summer. I know, I suffer it. The entire summer.
Well, and the time progression was really weird. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. Whatever. It was...
That's fine, though.
I still think that this was about as good... This is about as good a Spider-Man movie as I could have hoped for. Mm-hmm. I'm curious what this version of the Sinister Six is going to look like. I kind of don't feel the need to see what Venom's dealio is going to be. But the Sinister Six thing is promising to me, if only from the awesome perspective of...
They showed the specs of the costumes.
For the last couple of years, we've been doing this Avengers thing, which I think have been generally better movies than the Spider-Man movies, don't get me wrong. But the idea of them trying to do that same kind of Avengers thing, but with bad guys, like putting a group of bad guys together, that's kind of fun. I like that.
Can I also talk more about, like, Harry Osborn being the Green Goblin?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh my god, his smile.
Yeah,
It was, like, comic booky. Like, took up more than half his face. And he could still, like, form real accurate sentences with the
With
thing.
the prosthetic teeth. Those.
The prosthetic teeth and that crazy smile that he had to keep on his face.
I loved, I actually really loved his Goblin thing. And it seems like they set up the Green Goblin kind of, this was just his introduction and he's going to be a bigger threat later down the line. And as sad as I am that they skipped over Norman, after how crappy Harry Goblin got treated in Spider-Man 3, I feel like elevating him to main baddie status for probably another 2 films, maybe. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
And that is, but again, this might be the time I grew up talking, though, because, I was reading. When I first started reading Spider-Man was when I was a little kid in the early 90s, and that was the end of Harry Osborn's run as the Green Goblin. So, obviously, I'm more attracted to that Green Goblin than I am to the Norman one.
Although we have a friend who I mentioned earlier who wants to see Norman be Green Goblin.
Yeah,
and she's probably going to cry.
Yeah, Norman Osborn fans are going to be really disappointed.
Oh man, now I don't have a sidewalk.
Hey, so in the original version of Gwen's death, it was the scene that they also homaged in the first Spider-Man movie, and it's Green Goblin was holding up a bus, and then Gwen, and he drops both and tells Spider-Man he can only save one, and Spider-Man tries to save both, and that's how Gwen broke her neck. What do you think about them getting rid of the bus and just having it be?
Oh, you mean physics being applied like actual physics for once in a superhero movie?
Well, I mean, they did that in the comic too. I think it's. I think. I think more.
I'm actually more blown away by the fact that they showed it on screen.
That was really unpleasant. Yeah, there were a bunch of.
And with the snapping noise.
There were a bunch of little kids in the theater. I felt really bad. Like, the movie kind of ends on a really melancholy, like a hopeful melancholy note, but still a melancholy.
Like, yeah, we're getting back into this thing, and it's gonna keep going because heroes do that sort of thing.
There's that. You might have. Well, in a way, it was kind of a nice FU over at the Dark Knight, who lost his only sort of kind of girlfriend and then gave up on being Batman for 8 years. Yeah,
and he gave up on being himself too.
Yeah, that's well, yeah, he gave up on being Bruce Wayne and Batman and whatever for 8 years. And this, like, Peter needs grieving, but he still gets back on the horse. And that, I liked that.
Did you like the use of multiple camera angles at different points in the story?
Yeah, I thought the camera work was actually kind of
I'm saying that the same scene displayed from 2 different camera angles to convey different emotions.
Yeah, I
like that they used that. What was it? 3 times?
Yeah. Sorry, I realized the audio is not including my nodding. Excuse me. Oh crud. When I was.
It's not, accepting my cringing either.
Well, if you wanna, for right now, let's just say that The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was. It might not have been amazing, but it was really good. I enjoyed it.
It was very amazing visually.
Big.
And to your ears.
Yeah.
It would be amazing visually and audibly. Story-wise,
might have been a little bit contrived, not the best writing
B
in the
plus,
world.
A minus?
I'd give it a C plus maybe story-wise.
C?
Yeah, maybe a B minus.
I'd go more in the B range on that one.
Um,
Let's even it out and give it a solid B.
Okay, I can live with that. How about acting? Depending on who we're talking about. Oh, also Sally Field was really good. Aunt May, she was fantastic.
Her storyline is actually pretty great.
Yeah, Aunt May was pretty fantastic.
The trailer did give one sort of idea that isn't. The trailer did kind of give a red herring.
Kinda, yeah.
Aunt May doesn't know. I feel like she does know, she's just not going to tell him that she knows.
Crud,
because it couldn't have been made more obvious to her at the...
I keep thinking of more things. I really did enjoy a lot of where this went. And, yeah, I don't think I'm going to go see it again in the theater, but I'll probably pick it up when it's on DVD.
I think the scientist guy was dumb.
Oh, the guy at the Ravencroft Institute?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was dumb. He was
like, is he gonna be like Dr. Doom? Is something gonna go on here? Did he get his doctorate in Doomology?
Oh, okay, one more dumb thing. Not
Dr. Doom.
So someone must have noticed that these Marvel movies have been putting those post-credits teasers on.
The X-Men one was so dumb.
And they randomly just ran one for the X-Men that had no context, no setup. It was just there. It was totally random. And keep in mind, these are made by two different studios, so maybe they're trying to imply that there will be a Spider-Man X-Men movie at some point.
But who knows?
Can you see Hugh Jackman and Andrew Garfield on screen together? That just doesn't seem to work in my head.
Seems really weird.
Oh well. But overall, yeah, I like the movie.
I don't feel like seeing it again in theaters, but...
Yeah, same. But I'll pick it up on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever.
Yeah.
So, should we sign off?
Yeah. This was Rena Innocenti.
And Nick Izumi. Keep on spocking in the free world.
Have a great night. Or a day or whatever you're doing.
Whenever you're listening to this.